So on Monday, President Trump signed the Take It Down Act, criminalizing the spread of non-consensual intimate imagery, including AI-generated deepfakes and revenge porn. Good for him. Under the law, anyone who distributes intimate images of someone without their consent faces federal criminal penalties. The law mandates that social media companies promptly remove such content and alerted and empowers the Federal Trade Commission to enforce it. Can we play this video of Trump?
Today, it's my honor to officially sign the Take It Down Act into law. It's a big thing, very important, so horrible what takes place. This will be the first ever federal law to combat the distribution of explicit, imaginary, posted without subjects' consent. They take horrible pictures, and I guess sometimes even make up the pictures, and they post it without consent or anything else. And very importantly, this includes for forgeries generated by artificial intelligence known as deepfakes. We've all heard about deepfakes. I have them all the time, but nobody does anything. I asked Pam, can you help me, Pam? She says, no, I'm too busy. Too busy doing what? Things. Don't worry, you'll survive. But a lot of people don't survive. That's true, and so horrible. With the rise of AI image generation, countless women have been harassed with deepfakes and other explicit images distributed against their will. This is the wrong, and it's just so horribly wrong. And it's a very abusive situation, like in some cases people have never seen before. And today we're making it totally illegal.
So, Connor, what is it actually? So, what is he making illegal?
So, basically, it's either using AI to generate images of someone,
a real person,
or posting non-consensual images that, like
what Destiny did?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, wow.
So basically, this would make what Destiny did. Go back and watch that segment from a few months ago. Amy talked about it, where it's, you're in a relationship with someone, they send you explicit imagery, you then distribute that to other people, or in some cases, people even upload it to porn sites.
So now it's illegal.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you're with a girl, she sends you pictures, you break up, you're mad at her, you blast those out on social media, share them on a website, whatever.
This should have been illegal.
It should have been, and in certain ways it was, but this now expedites the process of it is now explicitly illegal, and it puts the burden on the platforms, because now if you post revenge porn or AI-generated deepfakes or whatever on a social media platform, they have an obligation to remove it quickly. And there are also additional charges against you, and the Federal Trade Commission can investigate it more quickly.
But it was funny. He kind of threw Pam Bondi under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
She's just busy. She's too busy. No, she's not. You're not that busy.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
Yeah, doesn't it?
No, yeah, like she claims that she's busy. Busy doing what?
Yeah, what are you doing?
But
Her job?
I haven't seen anything.
Her job was to declassify the Epstein files.
You know what Laura Loomer calls her?
What?
Pam Blondie.
Good.
It's pretty funny.
No, but yeah, just technology always develops faster than the law. So I mean, yeah, this is a common sense law. So yeah, I think it's like just a boring,
it's common sense,
common sense story.
Before AI, do you guys remember the face in the Hole website, Face in the Hole app? Okay, that sounds really
dirty.
wrong.
Sounds
dirty.
Okay, no.
Face in my hole.
So
Kelly,
Wait a second.
Jeez.
No. There were all these photos that you could put your face on a photo, right? So, like, when we did our vampire sketch 3 years ago, we put our faces in the Twilight poster, the face in the hole. Yeah. So,
Bad name.
when I was in college, someone put my face in a hole on somebody that was had no clothes on, and posted pictures of it. I mean, she was hot, but it wasn't me.
Could have been in jail.
So, and I went to a Catholic school. I was in the honors dorm, and they posted it all over the dorm, like the entire what do you call it? The club room, the lounge.
Yeah.
Plastered.
So your face
it printed paper. Me, yeah.
Oh,
and I was like that movie Walk to Remember. I felt like I was like, dang it. I was upset. I was really upset.
I was going to say. How many guys were like, hey, Kelly, saw you in the break room.
I wasn't cute then.
Yeah, you're saying it with a laugh and a smile, but that's like, that's a really serious thing to do. Again,
I know, and nothing,
crazy.
And nothing happened. And by the way, this was one of my friends that did it as a prank.
Damn.
My friends. So one of my girlfriend's boyfriends did it to me. So
he has to die.
I just think so. Like, and now we have AI. It's not just confined to a dorm room now. Now it's like, all over the internet. So I am so on board with this. I love this so much. Like I think it protects women. I think it protects children. And I love
About
that
men?
it gives the owner men too.
Yeah,
Sure.
like crotch all over the place.
Like I
Think
just
about all the deep fakes of Vinny that are probably out there.
I just my point of
They're
my
out
story
there.
my point of my story was that like there was no action taken on that. No responsibility was taken. I took all the things, I threw them out. Like there was nobody, the school, the person to take it down, apologize, whatever. So I love something like this where everyone has a responsibility to protect people.
I love it. All right,
Yeah.
so this is the next clip, Brandon. So we're gonna skip this one.
One more, yeah.
Skip this one. Last week, Utah Senator Mike Lee introduced a bill targeted at banning online pornography in the United States, as well as defining what obscenity is in legal terms. That's really? Wait, just banning
Just
online
all pornography.
all porn? Oh, that's pretty wild. The Interstate Obscenity Definition Act would make it illegal to transmit obscene materials across state lines, making large swaths of pornographic material illegal online.
That's dangerous.
That's very dangerous.
What
Why?
are you saying there? So like, getting rid of obscene content, that could mean anything. That could mean that like what you're saying is obscene and offensive.
Well,
So you can't say that.
That's
But-
part of the bill.
Yeah, exactly. That's
No,
what
'cause
I'm saying. Yeah.
And this is why I
So
think we're going
it's
to have
a
a
free
fascinating
speech thing.
discussion. I am fully on board with this and hope it passes.
Oof.
It doesn't have a snowflake's chance in hell of passing, but I really, really wish it would. Because if you look at what our legal definition of the United States government of obscenity has been since the 1970s, it is extremely vague and has no clear definition. What Mike Lee is trying to do is say, pornography will be banned under these contexts, and this bill will also give us a concrete definition of obscenity for enforcement.
Are you guys for that? No porn?
Yeah,
Only if they make
Because I remember
only if
being
they
on
make prostitution
an unusual,
legal.
I remember being on an Unusuals episode where I thought the whole panel was like, no, we should have porn.
No,
No, it'd
Alberto probably definitely did.
It'd
Well,
be-
did that not happen?
I can think of several people who are regulars on this show who would be very much in the pro-porn camp.
I am.
Why- I wonder why
but
that
you
is.
guys are all for this.
I'm going to be
No,
completely
only if they make prostitution legal in return for that. Because like I think this would create a whole big bad evil
Hey,
black
stop
market.
being degenerate on the internet and go be degenerate
Wait,
in real
I'm
life.
sorry.
How does
Can
that
you
make any
can you
sense?
clarify for me? So you're not pro the zero.
No,
porn.
I think porn is a net negative, but I think if you make it illegal, it's going to create something much worse. Because like,
like a dark.
when they made
yeah.
alcohol illegal, did that create a net positive result? No, it created the mafia. Since drugs are illegal, cartels exist. So I think like if you make these things legal, yeah, some people will use it and have negative results, but making them illegal creates like a demand for it where like bad people can monetize it.
What if it's what if it's not like zero porn, but what if it's like what Florida's doing with like you have to be 18 years or older?
Well, that just means like checking the box on your phone that says you're 18 years
Well,
old.
for now it does.
Well,
but
that's
maybe if they did
because-
like an ID or.
Well, that's the thing. Pornhub, which we've had Solomon Friedman, the owner
Yes.
of Pornhub parent company, on PBD podcast. They also own YouPorn, RedTube, and like all the other big porn sites. 5 or 6 states have passed legislation that says every porn site has to age verify the people using it.
Yeah.
And what they said was, instead of doing that, we're just going to shut down. So basically, when you go to these porn sites and say, hey, we want you to take the bare minimum action to make sure you are not distributing your content to children, they said, no thanks, we'd rather just make no money in this state at all. Which goes to show exactly what these porn companies are all about. They want kids. They want people under the age of 18 to be hooked on their content. The average age of first exposure to porn is now 4th grade. That's like 11, 12 years old. And remember, that's an average, which means half of that
What?
chart is younger than 12.
Yeah, cell phones.
It doesn't matter how locked down your kid is. If they go to school and there's another
My
kid
kid
who
is
has
never gonna use
unrestricted
cell
internet access, they're going to be like, hey, look at this thing I found.
Back
And-
in the day, you used to have to like work to find nudies.
Yeah.
when
Oh,
you
what
were-
do you mean? We had one VHS and everybody within a 5-block radius watched this one.
Just
Exactly.
like
Like
the
Jeremy
books
was
in
on.
like
the
American
library
Pie or
too,
something. You
though.
just
like-
pause it on the boob scene.
With 30 seconds of unrestricted internet access on my phone, I can access more naked women than my ancestors saw in 10 generations.
Very good point.
And that is a level of saturation that the
Flashyourrack.com.
human brain is not meant to be able to hold. We are seeing
Yeah, no
the-
wonder men cheat more.
Exactly. We're seeing the effects it's having on men and women.
I'm
Because,
sorry, men and women.
Men, it's like upwards of 80% say that they have viewed it regularly, and I believe that other 20% are liars. And then it's like 60% of women.
Are you guys for that
60% of
banning
women
porn, making prostitution legal? You think that's a net positive to society?
Not at all.
No.
I fully support
No!
banning porn, but why make prostitution legal?
Because like the sad fact of things is that like a large portion of guys out there have a
so
different.
depressing,
Hold on, let him-
Brandon.
let him
Sorry,
finish, let him
Yeah,
finish.
come on with your opinions. A large portion of guys out there have a difficult time getting laid, and that's a sad and unfortunate thing. But what?
Hold on. What's the
I'm
oldest?
holding on.
Kelly,
Well,
Kelly, you know
why
what the
not
oldest
have
profession is?
why not
Yeah,
have
prostitution.
why not-
I know it is.
Regulate it. There's women out there who probably would do it if it was allowed, and regulate it, have them tested, whatever, make it safe.
Make America pimp again.
Yeah, there's
Napa.
there's a supply and a demand.
You're
What?
laying out the case for basically making access to coochie a basic human right of like, okay, government provided.
No,
like,
I'm saying-
it stimulates the economy.
Guys,
by,
somebody
Not
make a Mappa shirt.
hard.
Make
saying-
America pimp again. That's right.
There's
I
chicks
don't-
out there who'd want to monetize that, and there's dudes out there who would take advantage of that. So
Hey, bitch.
they
where's my
are
money?
currently.
I just
Illegally.
disagree.
Jake, I'm having fun by
I just so
myself.
strongly it's so pessimistic, that point of view. Like,
Why?
oh well, that's just the way it is. That was the first thing you said. It doesn't have to be that way. There's girls all over the internet telling you what they want, guys. There are guys all over the internet telling girls how they'd like you to be differently. It's all about communication. We're so stuck in our freaking phones, and we can't talk to another human being, work stuff out. If you have a fight, you break up. That's it. We're done. You don't work stuff out. You don't talk about it. You don't improve, learn, change. People are just like, oh, this is the way I am. This is the way it is. I so strongly disagree with that. And I think that there are strong men and women out there
He's
that
right.
can change that. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, well, let's just do this degenerate thing and...
but like
Because
here-
that's temporary. Sin is okay. I'm going to go on a whole thing.
But that's
Napa.
like, that's like what causes like depression and pessimism in dudes. Those like where they one like don't know how to talk to chicks and two like can't get laid, and that's probably
How about
like.
go practice and talk to chicks?
No, but those
also-
are girl goggles though. Like think about it. Like the best looking dude ever could walk into a bar and like say like, "Hey ladies, who wants to smash?" And they'd all be like, "Oh no, weird." Maybe like 1% of them would say yes, but like
Yeah,
an
'cause that's
average looking
uncouth.
girl could walk into a bar and say like, "Hey guys, who wants to smash?" And like at least half the guys would say yes. So it's infinitely more easy for a girl to get
Because
Okay,
sex
it's
but
from a
you're
guy.
literally going to just sex. What about all the other things that tie into that?
Come on.
It's almost like
Brandon's
So
come
then,
on.
hookup culture.
then
is-
you're succumbing to your baser animal instincts rather than using your brain and mastering that to take it a step further. You're not an
I'm
animal.
not talking about me. I'm
You're a
talking guys.
when I say you, I'm
generalizing for
Generalizing,
men.
yeah.
So you're allowing your animal and baser instincts to rule you rather than you be the master. You're not an animal, you're a human. So you have a soul, you have integrity, you have a brain, and I think real men can handle that challenge and talk to a woman and figure it out and get laid if they want to.
High Desert Biker said we should ban all hot women from the beach because husbands will look at them. Way too tempting. Way too tempting.
kidding?
Well, have you seen the images from like the 1930s where there used to be like guys, like cops on the beach who would go around measure women's swimsuit hem length to make sure it wasn't too exposed?
Really?
Yeah, like
It's
there's images of
baloney.
that. Okay, but like,
Control yourselves.
but here's the thing, Kelly.
How hard is that?
You can't
Hard.
you can't say you cannot say there should be very strict behavioral standards for men and not apply any of that to women.
I'm not.
Everybody.
I'm not.
I just wanted to clarify that because men
But what are you referring
men
to?
have a duty to control themselves and not behave like animals. Women have an obligation to not just throw that
So
crap
he's
out
with
there.
biker
Like
dude.
it should be extremely
I'm
accessible.
not attacking every naked man that takes off his shirt for a shoot or
Okay,
whatever.
but there's a very
where's my
different
money?
thing between.
Napa.
Okay,
Sorry.
I think we can all agree, if we're being intellectually honest right now, there is a huge difference between if Vinny took off his shirt on this podcast and if you did it.
Vinny's taking off his shirt
Yes.
before.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm
Do
I-
you
not the
think?
podcast, have
do you
I?
think every female Unusual Suspects fan is now driven mad with lust over that?
No.
Women are throwing
Yeah,
themselves
but
at their
now
But
tell
if
you
you
what,
did the
Kels,
same thing, the guys would
he's
be.
hot.
Pop your
but-
top off right now and let's see. Well, it's a good way to get
the chat lined up with super chats.
good way to get 1 billion views on the podcast, but that's not like there is a huge difference between
Yeah.
that. So
But like, I think it's. I get that it's harder for guys.
Phrasing.
Ha. It's harder for guys. But I think that you just should practice controlling that. Girls control other things all the time.
That's like
it's
us
your
telling-
challenge. We're different.
That's like
so
us-
I get the part that we're different for sure. But you could control yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
That's like us telling you to control your emotions, though. It's easier said than done.
We all went to model volleyball. I had a swimsuit on.
For you, Kelly?
No.
Is it doing anything?
No.
Think about
I
the
want to
things.
touch it.
Think about like a man like who was running the country put it all on the line for a blowjob. Bill Clinton, like control nuclear
For mid-90s,
secrets.
Monica
like,
Lewinsky
He's an
was
idiot.
Yeah.
yeah, JFK did the same thing.
Control,
though.
like
Like
Although
people,
that was Marilyn
yourself.
Monroe.
people
so that's a
destroy
little
their
bit-
lives just for quick sex. Like it's easier said than done.
Again, my whole point is animal, baser instinct. Control yourself. Nobody practices anymore. Nobody tries anymore. Nobody makes an effort anymore. There's excuses. Get off your phone. Practice. Read the Bible. Like, I believe me, I am no saint. I am no saint. I'm not a saint.
Really?
I also experience lust. I also experience love. But I control myself and I make certain decisions and I act responsibly. Men can do that too
There-
without
there
making an
are
excuse
things
of,
you're
oh, well, I
saying.
need
And-
prostitution so I can get laid.
Guys, I want to get to the last story, but I
Sorry.
mean, Brandon, and if you think about it, if you close
I love
strip
you.
clubs, and you do all that, where are those guys going to get their release? They're not. They're going to go after regular women and like, think about it. Hear me out. Strip clubs and all these places where guys that don't have the skills that you're talking about, that would probably be out in the street sexually
So we're
assaulting
just
and raping
gonna
women.
sell
No,
them
no.
away?
So we send
Exactly.
those guys to jail.
I know, but meaning, but hold on though.
You learn to act right or you go to
Yeah, but here's the
prison.
thing though.
That's
Those
not
girls are
hard.
so, but what I'm saying is, I guarantee you, if you close every strip club, stop porn, and stop prostitution, the crime rate for sexual assault and
Yes.
rape, hear me out, because I have to go to the next story,
Yeah.
is going to skyrocket. I'm just saying that. I'm not a porn guy. I slip up once in a blue moon and I hate myself for it, but it is what it is.
Do you think
Ladies,
the opposite applies too, though? Do you think if you flipped that and like it made it more widely available to people, that sex crimes would drop?
No,
Well, I mean-
no, because the more porn has been mainstreamed,
I don't disagree with that,
The
by the way.
higher the levels of sexual
drop?
assault have
Yeah,
gotten.
I don't.
I
Yeah.
think Mappa's going to be a shirt.
Maybe it would. I'm an optimist.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.